Hello everybody, we're back with week 2 of March Madness. We're going to be starting with the spine stretch and working our way all the way forward to the double leg kicks. So let's get started. You're going to sit nice and tall, reach both arms up toward the ceiling, and we'll start with the spine stretch. You're going to round your spine forward and then stack tall. Notice that the spine is rounding here. So the point is not to hinge at the hips and see how far forward you can get, but more to get that C curve or that curling forward in the spine. 5 times, and then you can take a little stretch there. And then we'll get ready for open leg rocker, which is our second rolling exercise. So you're going to find, again, you can start with those hands back behind the legs, stretch the legs up, rolling back on that inhale, exhale, come up. Leave the legs extended. So this is what makes it different than rolling like a ball, is that those legs are reaching away from your center. If you want to make it more challenging, you could take the hands up higher on the legs. You could grab up behind the calves, or you could even try and reach toward those toes. Doing that rolling back through the spine, legs are about that shoulder distance apart. We're going to do 5 to 8 of those. And then come up and find your balance, and we'll get ready for corkscrew. So hug the legs together. You're going to bring your hands underneath your hips. I'll show you 2 versions of corkscrew. So for the first one, your head is going to stay down, and you're going to draw alternating circles with both legs hugging together. That little pillow underneath your hips just helps as you're drawing those circles. That's our traditional corkscrew. The more advanced corkscrew is kind of a combination of your jackknife and the movement you just saw. So you're going to roll back like a jackknife, and then still hugging the legs together, roll down one side of the spine and then back up the other, and you'll reverse. So you'll alternate side to side. Those arms are pressing in. Upper half of the body is trying to stay glued down to the mat as you draw these nice big pendulum swings circling those legs. Good. 5 total, whichever variation of corkscrew you like, and then come all the way up to seated for saw. Whenever we're sitting up on our sits bones, it can be helpful to have a little bend in the knees, especially if you feel like your hamstrings are tight. So for saw, you're keeping those hips anchored down, arms extended out away from each other, and doing that nice big spinal rotation, trying to get your fingers to reach down toward those toes. You can also straighten out those legs if you feel like you're able to be up on those sits bones, sitting nice and tall. We're going to do 5 in each direction for saw. And then we're going to rotate after you've done 5 in each direction, and we're going to come to your stomach for Swan Dive. So I'm going to show you 3 different variations here. The first is kind of a traditional swan, hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to inhale, lift up the head and the chest, and then exhale back down. It's a gentle back bending movement, but you don't want to feel any pressure in your low back. You also don't want this movement to be just lifting your arms. Initiate that movement with your core and with your upper back. To do the Swan Dive, an assisted version, you're going to just lift the hands and then press in like you're rocking. You can also extend those arms overhead. So that's the most advanced version of Swan Dive. We're going to do 3, maybe 4 of those, and then sit back and take a child's pose. Anytime we do that extension, we'd like to follow it with a little bit of a child's pose just to stretch out the low back. And then we'll come back onto our stomachs, forearms down, hips down, bellies lifting for single leg kicks. In a half plank, you're going to kick 1 leg at a time, 2 kicks toward your backside, and then 2 on the other side by bending at that knee. You're trying to hold the rest of the body super still as you alternate 2 kicks on each side. More advanced, flex, point, point to come down. It's the same kicking motion. You're just going to add in a flex and a point with the foot. A little bit more of that mind-body connection that Joe was such a big fan of. 8 total each side, and then we're going to lay all the way flat on your stomach. Hands can come to your low back for double leg kicks. Your head will start turned to one side. 3 kicks with both feet together. Lift up the head and chest, extend, and then turn the head to the other side in 3 more kicks. So you're getting that nice big lifting up as you alternate your look side to side. You can do this with those arms stretching long at your sides, or a more advanced variety is by hooking the thumbs. So you get just a little bit more of that upper back stretch that way. Once you've done 3 each direction, go ahead and just sit back into that child's pose again. Take a nice little stretch. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next week for week 3 of March Madness.